Hi guys, today is Wednesday, April the 3rd, and I have news. I wasn't going to come on tonight because I look like such a ragamuffin. Oh my goodness. I was out and about yesterday, I'll tell you that in a minute, and it took so much out of me that coming home yesterday, our hallway to get to the apartment is quite long, and by the time I got to the apartment, I was in tears. I was in so much pain. My back, I tell you, it's getting worse, and I know it's the weight that isn't helping. But anyway, decided to come on tonight anyway to tell you, guess who got a new doctor? Yes, I'm so pleased. As you know, I've been having trouble with my doctor. When it's time to make an appointment, you have to call on the day of that you want in, and they might get you in and they might not. So if you have to rely on someone to take you, how do you do that if they're working? So there's that, although I could drive myself, but then there's the keeping the car, and I would have to pick up Bill at night, and I'm just not comfortable driving at night with my eye issues. But anyway, and then I take a pill for acid reflux. It's called Pantaloc, and I've been taking 2 a day for, as long as I can remember, and I haven't had problems. Well, recently I called in my prescriptions to get refilled, and they said, no, it's too early. And I'm like, too early? What are you talking about? And they said, no, you're taking too many. You're not due for a refill yet. And I was like really confused, and I went, I don't know what to tell you. And she said, well, you're to take 1 a day. And I said, no, I've been taking 2 a day for like as long as I can remember. So apparently they said, okay, they would call in to the doctor's office and get it straightened out. They called me back, and the lovely doctor that I had said, no, just take 1 a day. Well, since that's been happening, I've been getting more acid reflux. That's when this whole issue started where the hospital thought it might be a hiatal hernia. So anyway, I went on Facebook and asked if anybody knew of any doctors that were accepting new patients. And a friend of mine said, yes, there's one. She's great, but she's in Windsor. Now, Windsor is about an hour and a half from here. So that's quite a distance. But the doctor I had for years, like 40 years, he was 2 hours away, and I didn't mind the drive at all. So I thought, well, I'll go and meet with this doctor and see how it works out, see what I think, see if I'm comfortable around her. That's the big issue. I wish I could be more comfortable around people, but I have a hard time, and I really have a hard time opening up. So I wasn't sure how I would feel. So, of course, before I got there, I was all stressed, and oh, listen, it was just ridiculous. But anyway, so I get there for my appointment. My appointment's at 12:30. I'm the type that always have to go early, just in case. And especially with driving an hour and a half, you don't know if you're going to hit traffic or what have you. So we were quite early. We had to wait in the parking lot for probably an hour anyway. So so I go in, I go to the bathroom, I get myself calmed down. I go in to register, and I said, I'm here. I had some papers to fill out. I hand the papers back. I just get nicely sat back down, and I hear Sandra, and I'm like, oh no, nobody calls me Sandra unless I'm in trouble. But anyway, I'm like, okay, I'll go see what I've done. I thought maybe I did something wrong in filling out the papers. She said, Sandy, your appointment was at 11. And I went, what? I said, I have down 12:30. She goes, no, it's at 11, and she's too busy, and you're going to have to reschedule. Well, my heart just sank. I felt so bad. I just don't know. Like, I just felt so terrible because Bill had to take me. Now, he does get paid time to take for doctor's appointments or whatever for him or I. So that part was okay, but it was the whole idea, and I was just devastated. And I was like, oh my goodness. And she said, I'm sorry. And I said, no, I'm sorry. And I said, and not only that, I said, I just drove I said, we just drove an hour and a half to get here. She goes, oh my goodness, well, leave it with me and I'll see what I can do. So I said, okay. So I go back to sit down, and if you guys knew me at all, I was stewing that whole time. One, because I felt so bad that I messed up, and I don't know, it just really affected me bad. And here I am seeing a doctor for the first time. I sure don't know how to make a very good first impression, do I? But anyway, so it all got straightened out. She said she'd see me. And I was like, oh, thank goodness. So I went in to see her, and oh my goodness, she's just a little bit of a thing. She's really tiny and short, and just, she's probably in her 30s, like I would say early 30s. I didn't even think she was the doctor at first. But anyway, I said to her, I said, I'm so sorry. I said, I didn't mean for my first impression to be not showing up for my appointment. I said, usually I'm really good with appointments and I try to get there early. I said, I don't know what happened. I do know what happened, but I'll tell you that later. Actually, I better tell you that now or I'll forget. In my phone, when I put today or yesterday's date and that I had a doctor's appointment, I put the time, but the all day thing was slid over. And when it's all day, it automatically goes to like 12:30 for the day because it's all day. So that's how it got messed up. But anyway, so I know not to do that anymore. So anyway, she asked me some questions, asked me why I was looking for a doctor, and I told her the whole situation of trying to get appointments and how my Pantalog changed and all that stuff. She said, not a problem. She said, we'll look into this. We'll get it all straightened out. I'm like, okay. She asked me what surgeries I had, and I held my breath when I told her the gastric bypass, and she didn't say anything. I was like, you sweet girl, you. We did talk about weight loss after, like just some tips that I can use, but this was more or less a meet and greet. But bless her heart, she sent me this kit, or she gave me this kit to check for colon cancer. It's kind of a yucky test, but hey, you got to do it. And I'm going for a mammogram, which I need to do anyway because my right breast is very sore. And the last time I went for one was probably 3 or 4 years ago, and they put a marker in, like injected a little square marker, just there's a spot that they're watching, and I can't remember if it's the right one or the left one. So I do know that I need to get that looked at. And then she mentioned a pap test. Oh my goodness. Sorry guys, if you're I don't think I have any man subscriber. Oh, maybe I do. Anyway, if I do, I'm sorry. But she said, are you due for one of those? And I just kind of looked at her, and she said, has it been more than 3 years? And I said, yep. She said, how many years? I said, truthfully, I said, probably about 30. Her face dropped, and she looked at me and she said, what? And I said, probably about 30. And she said, you're over 50 and you need these tests done. And I'm like, I know. I said, listen, I said, I don't like looking at that thing. I don't want you to have to look at that thing. So she laughed and she said, don't be silly. She goes, it means nothing to me. She goes, there's nothing I haven't seen or heard. She said, we really do need to get that done. So I did say, okay, that I would set up an appointment like later, but I will get it done because I do know the importance. But I was like, no, I don't want to. But anyway, she was really nice. I felt really comfortable. I didn't feel rushed. She's also sending me for blood work. When the old doctor sent me for blood work, he would check A1C and the diabetic, or the A1C is the overall diabetic number, but he would also check the glucose. But she's doing that plus potassium, sodium, iron, B12, cholesterol, creatine. Like, she is doing it all, which is really good because I've wondered myself what those other ones are. Like, I'm tired all the time, and I'm pretty sure it's my iron. But at least now I know I'm getting tested, and it just felt good. And I woke up this morning and I was like, hey, I have a doctor. Well worth the drive. And I could go myself, if I have to. Oh, it says recording something. Something recording came along my phone here, probably telling me to quit yapping. But anyway, I'm here with my trusty buddy, as always. And we're just watching tonight is Empire and Star, and then I'll be watching YouTube. So I just wanted to come on real quick to tell you that things are improving. I do have a doctor. Oh, and she said about the hiatal hernia, I said they wanted to test me. I said where you drink the stuff and you stand up on a table and then they move the table back and up and all over it. Well, the last twice I had it done, I got very sick. And the very last time I almost threw up. Or I almost passed out, I mean. First 2 times, almost throwing up. Last time, basically very close to passing out. So I said I really didn't want that test. And she said, no problem. She said, did your cough get better? And I said, yes. And she said, well, I don't think it's a hiatal hernia then. She said, and taking the Pantaloc, the 2 a day like I was taking, will help if there is anything going on there. Anyway, so that was good. So that is the latest. Yeah, I think that's it. I did do a apartment tour finally, and I was in pain, and I played it back, and I was huffing and puffing like an old steam engine, and it wasn't a good quality video at all. Not that mine are, but I will redo it and put it through. And tomorrow I have a cleaning lady coming to look at the apartment, meet Korak, and give me a price on how much it would do to do the apartment, because I just can't. With the pain I'm in, it's not worth it, and the apartment is so nice that I want it kept nice. So you have to pick and choose where you spend your money, and right now this is very important, and I'm not doing crafting anymore and all that. Oh, excuse me, all that was costly, so I can use the money for that. But anyway, it's been, 13 minutes? So I've got lots to say about other channels I've been watching, but that'll come later too. I just wanted to do a quick update on the new doctor report. Sounds like it's going to be good, and I am impressed that lots of things are being checked. Not impressed by some of them, but I will do what I'm supposed to. Okay, love you guys, and I will talk to you real soon. Have a great night.